Hey, good morning, Jamster. I didn't know you were a drummer. I know you to be a DJ, but you're playing some ear drums. Looking mighty, mighty good. Did you get a stint at the music festival? You didn't play. You didn't go. As we say good morning to our viewers and listeners across the globe, you're logged on for another presentation of Voices on WINNFM 98.9 on your FM dial. We, of course, salute all the folks in the various time zones as we welcome you to another presentation. We, of course, will pause to give credit to our sponsors of this program firstly, and then we come back and have a little chit-chat with Jamster and discuss his prowess as a drummer, amongst other things.
Chip, 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 we wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, 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 we wanna get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, 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 we wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Hey, once again, welcome back to another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. And amongst the folks who want to say good morning to, of course, is the ever-present Rosemary Donald and Chris Collins, who want to start the ball off today with a comment. And let me get into that. Did I say that or that? Haha. So let's see what Chris has to say. All right, and he says, I see you drive Sweeney out of retirement. I think he's referring to the fact that our ambassador King Sweeney, Dr. King Sweeney, has recorded a song recently. And he did send me a copy, Chris, and asked me to hold on until he was, finished with the entire production. But it's, I wouldn't say it's vintage Sweeney. It's him showcasing his talent. He still has it. Some people, they are consistent to a certain level, then they disappear. And you wonder what happened to their skill set, their abilities. Sweeney has proven that he has withstood the test of time. The song, it's a patriotic appeal to our people and the challenges that we're facing in terms of some of the crime issues. And I think when I get that copy, we'll have Jamster play it for us because it appeals to all of us. So thank you, Mr. Chris Collins. I noticed he didn't make it down for the music festival. Am I correct? I don't know if they had enough food. Because normally you're here and you post pictures of, what you would have consumed and telling people who you had to help. We have a call tonight? Okay, let's see how this one goes. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Hello.
Yes. Good morning, Nick King and Jamster.
Good morning to you, sir. You're first off the crease. How are you doing?
Yes. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great.
Okay, let's hear you.
Now, this morning on Island Tea, Miss Henry called in and she spoke about something going on in Silkett. And I was trying to get in, but I couldn't get in to support her. But anyway, thank God I'm in now.
You're in now, yes.
Now, every time hurricane is coming, the hurricane season starts, we always hear them say they're going to have a national day of prayer. And only that National Day of Prayer. Well, this year, they had a National Day of Prayer on all the radio stations they were asking them to do. And all kind of churches they were asking to come and offer the little word of prayer and whatnot, and it was done.
Okay.
And you know they always say, St. Kitts is a Christian society. And we are 88% literacy.
90%, yeah, literate.
Yeah, so they say, but hear this now. The Bible says that if we got faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move mountain. It doesn't mean the mountain with trees and high hill only. It means mountain of problems. But you're going to tell me yesterday Sunday morning on the national radio station, just 3 things they talk about for news. What Todd Wall say? And who was the artist, the best artist of the music festival and whatnot.
Okay.
You were saying something?
No. I'm listening. I want the folks to hear what you have to say.
Right. And then so I said, no, that is not news. So I switched to Win FM and 2 more other radio stations, one in Nevis and one down here. And I get news, more than news, plenty news that need to be spoken of.
You're newsy?
Yes, very newsy and nosy. Because when you hear the actual thing what happened, then you can speak about them. And in the week, which we spoke about now, they advertise some kind of organization come to St. Kitts over Frigate Bay, telling you if a woman boyfriend leave her, they could make her get back the boyfriend. And they could read the palm of the hand.
Really?
And do all kind of thing. If a woman and she husband breaking up, they could make them get back together. It's only God could make people make things that are wrong and bad come back together. Once they got God in the heart, that are possible with God. Mm-hmm. They don't need to go to no obvious people, no demonic organization to tell them, I can read your hand and tell you what can happen. You know, they're going to advertise that on radio.
Okay, I would have missed all that.
Sorry.
I would have missed all that, what you're referring to.
Okay. You had to miss it, man. You were tired of waking up.
Okay.
So you had to sleep long.
Hear you. Anyway, are you safe? Are you safe up there? Because we're 1 month into the hurricane season and some major developments are happening already.
Well, you know, I like everybody else. Everybody's safe until the hurricane reach.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I go, but... So I am calling on them people here. Don't be this demonic thing what I got here, bring it to in the country. We don't want that. It's the same set of people used to criticize Haiti and say that what's happening in Haiti because they believe in too much of Obia.
Okay.
Don't be that the same thing come in here now and they might advertise it. Come on, man. Now,
okay.
When Hugo come, 89, I went up on my roof in St. John. I was living in St. John, and I went to kneel along some girl where they say, well, okay, like pull up them. And then I come down, everything was good. When it started, I tie on the bedstead with a rope and one of the raft on the roof.
You anchor it down one?
Look, it's one fall I get off the bed.
Okay.
When he started to lift up the roof, the bed bounced and I jump off. I cut the rope with a knife. I say, here you go.
That's powerful. Okay.
Okay, so that's enough for today.
All right, thank you very much.
I continue to listen to the great program.
Much appreciated. Okay. Jams, you have a clip to play for me? Is it? Okay, it's 25. Okay. Today makes 1 month since the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Today is the 1st of July. The Atlantic hurricane season begins annually on the 1st of June. We had the folks from NEMA and the Met office in office. We were discussing, in the studio, discussing the upcoming, schedule of hurricanes. One thing that was made clear, Normally, there are 11 named hurricanes anticipating X amount of, well, the percentage to impact the islands. We were told that there are now some 24, almost, double the average numbers. This will be a very active season. It may start earlier, and the people have to be aware of this, be cognizant, and not adopt the mindset like most Cretaceous divisions that we are blessed. This we have to take seriously. We're now learning that the very first major hurricane, the first ever, this early in the season, in June, we know in July, but it started forming in June, is now up to 140 miles an hour. Not 130 as it was a couple of hours ago, 140 miles an hour. And now the many islands is affected. So as the last caller indicated, some people just wait until hurricane season or when there's something impending to make preparation, right? Hurricane Beryl is the earliest Category 4 hurricane ever on record. We have a call? Let's take a caller, or we need to okay. We need to continue this discussion. Caller, let's see what you have to add to the program. Good day, you're live on Voices. Hello there. Okay, nobody at the moment. So, Barbados, Trinbago, Jamaica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia. I think it was the east side, southeast side of Barbados. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, Mr. Socrates, good morning to you and all listening audiences.
Blessed be.
Listen, a caller just called in just a while ago and condemning something that I have already called in on this radio station and condemned already.
So he's supporting
I was
you?
just this morning talking to a lady, and I was telling her that with so much blood being soaked up on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis.
So much what?
Right? Blood. A lot of the murders, they go and actually absorbing a lot of blood. That's what I meant, from the murders. I was telling her, how can we escape a hurricane coming directly to us when so much evil happening? And then this caller just called in saying that you have some people doing psychic reading. And you know what? When I came on the radio months ago, I think Jamstor was there, and he was surprised to know about this happening, where there was anyone sticking these bushels on people's vehicle. And I went in and I sat down with the minister of the Ecclesiastic Center, Honorable Jeffrey Handy, and I spoke to his secretary, and I said, this is what is happening on the island. Is your minister aware of this? And she was aware of it, and she was discussed. I said to her, I'm going to leave you my number. Have him give me a call so I could note him on this, and because he's supposed to be some kind of man of God, because he was a pastor before he went into this political thing. Mm-hmm. And he turned a blind eye to it. He never did call me. I'm sure she made mention to it. And he is a minister talking about God this and God that and this, and he ain't doing nothing about this when the island experienced this kind of devastation because of the wickedness on the island. What happened? And he turned a blind eye to it. And how, when I see these kind of things, Socrates, I know from a Christian perspective what these things mean. I have encountered evil in this island here where I met a young lady, 26 years of age, Socrates, no lie, and her mother here in St. Kitts was putting her to sleep for 5 days, and she was allowed to travel out of her body. She told me this.
Interstellar travel.
From a young child, this wickedness was happening.
Her mother, just to clarify, we want to get that because your voice is a bit soft, so I want to see if we can get it out there.
Okay,
you met this young lady.
I was saying, right?
Uh-huh.
I met a young woman in St. Kitts, 26 years of age, where her mother was putting her to sleep for 5 days, right? Mm-hmm. And that child was permitted to astral project, where she comes out of her body and visit countries. No lie. And these were the kind of things that is happening now. This is only what you get to hear outside, but there are other things happening. A lot of wickedness happening on the island. A lot of people are after the supernatural. And when you're looking at the kind of music being played, right now, Socrates, there is no discriminating or vulgarity of music being played in the open, and the government ain't doing nothing, the police ain't doing nothing, and the church seems like they lost their courage to talk about it now. When you see these kind of things happen, nobody protesting against it, nobody calling in against it. What do you think will happen when the time of devastation, the time of judgment comes? Should not the island experience?
Well, the influence on the younger minds is one of the tragedy of that.
One more time?
The influence of the language that they mentioned in the song and those practices, the influence on the younger minds is very devastating.
Yes, and so what is the minister doing about it? What is the church doing about it? Why they don't even speak out? The church has so much power and they're not using it. I mean, why they're not? I mean, a Muslim temple is being built here on the island. The supernatural is being explored like never before. When you have people coming from overseas, and this is what I know about these things, people who come to minister, and most of them have this discernment, and they're able to speak about things they see happening and call out people out of the congregation to minister to them that this is what is happening to you, and the person could detect to attest to it. You know, the level of wickedness is happening. You know, and like it's just like a blind eye is becoming normal now. You know, and so when things happen, I mean, look at it. Dr. Joe the other day said he went over to carry on the phone water. They're still locking off water up here in Monkey Hill in the night. Why is that? With all the rain that is coming, why is that? That I could never understand that. You know, I mean, if you found water and it could pump out so much gallons, hundreds of gallons or something a day, why is water being locked off still? And with so much rain coming like now than years before.
Those are very good questions.
So I what's here? Somebody lying to us? I supported the Dr. Joe during the last voting they had. This time they ain't doing nothing unless I see something that could change. Ask the offenders, come on the radio and talk about that the Labour Party overwhelmed the competition. By whom? By overseas supporters. Nobody in the local on the island went out much to support elections. I don't even know what Dwyer Aston will be pumping out there as if he don't know the truth. I went to the polling stations and most of them was very empty. Coming on to the last end of the day, there was fluctuated, overwhelmed with people just coming in because they got off the plane and was able to come in. So it's to me what is going to be seen. I'm calling on the minister of the church here, Honorable Jeffrey Hanley, and the minister them to rise up and to begin to challenge this wickedness, because if they don't do nothing and they turn a blind eye, the ignorant people are saying it's going to be sucked into it. Those who want money, those who want love, those who want to get the upper hand of them, what you call the enemies, going to be drawn into this, and then more negative things going to be on the island.
Okay. So
that's all I could say for now.
I want to thank you for the contribution. We'll have a discussion on that later on in the program. We need now to pause and give credit to our sponsors, and when we come back, James, if you have that clip, we will engage, with that.
TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Okay, welcome back to the program. Our last caller spoke about a disturbing trend of occurrences happening in St. Kitts that I was really unaware of, about a group that may have come here on the weekend. Pardon? Wow, so wow. The last day, somebody will be quick to say. I'm not sure how that correlates with what's happening with the weather. But there may be some correlation. I don't know. We live in a spiritual realm, etc. We do. We're in the physical, but we are in the spiritual realm. Whether we acknowledge it or not, things are happening. But I want to speak to the folks mainly in the Leeward Islands after I take this call. Go to call 11 Voices. They're that quick. Okay. We see what's happening in the Windward Islands. Okay? But for the folks in the Leeward and the USVI, we need to pay attention and, make the proper requirements. Caller, your 11 Voices.
Socrates, good day. How you doing?
Good day. Hope you had a great weekend. Which show did you go to at the music festival?
Which show?
Which night?
Actually, really and truly, none of them really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking Jamster. He said he didn't go.
I did not even went to the... Eh?
I was checking Jamster. He said he didn't go. Trying to see if you went.
So I did not even go to the gospel one. Not even that I went to.
You had a gospel night?
Yeah, not even that I went to.
What night was that?
Sunday gone.
Okay.
No. Sorry, not Sunday gone. Sunday before, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, at the Antioch.
Okay, so talk to me.
Yes. What I'm going to say is that concerning this occultic thing, voodoo, whatever it is. I didn't know of it here in St. Kitts. Well, no. Don't let me. No, I shouldn't say that. Let me reword it. What they're speaking, what Miss Henry spoke about on Ireland, I did not hear the beginning of this program. I just tuned into this program. But at least on Ireland, what Miss Henry was speaking about, with it coming over the radio, I ain't know about it coming over the radio, but I think I did see something on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I did see something on Facebook, but I didn't hear it over the radio. That's number one. Number two, whether it be voodoo, witchcraft, necromancy, you name them all, spells, horoscopes, you name them all. They're all satanic and of the devil. No. But you see, the stage has been set long time ago. I mean, this thing has been going on years upon years, decades upon decades in the Federation underground. But you see, on the radio, the stage has been set as well. Because you have people who comes on the radio and say that all of these things are African culture. And that because they're African culture, we must embrace them. And while they're saying these things, I do not know of anyone other than me who has been speaking over the radio and saying not because something is African culture, voodoo and them sort of stuff, means that it is right. Anything that goes against the Bible is wrong. Whether it's African culture, or European culture, or Chinese culture, I don't care. Indian culture, you name it. European culture, you name it. I don't care. Anything that goes against the Bible is wrong, evil, wicked, and sinful.
Okay.
But the stage has been set for the acceptance of these things because, like I said, people coming on the radio saying that these things are African culture, we should accept them. And the churches, nobody other than me condemning it. You know?
Okay. I don't want to have a long debate on that because this can go my question to you is that do you see any direct correlation between the natural weather developments, the hurricanes, etc., and what is said has been happening here in the ground in St. Kitts?
The Bible tells you, for example,
Hello?
chapters. Yes, hello. Yeah, Socrates.
We may have lost.
Socrates, Socrates?
Still there? I'm not hearing him.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm still here. You hear me? You hear me? Socrates?
I'm not hearing him.
Not hearing me? Socrates?
Okay, let's sort this out and have him call back because I'm not hearing him at all. Okay, let me see if it's my headphones. Can you hear me? All right, I wasn't hearing him. I don't know what the problem is. All right. Let's take this other caller. Caller 11 voices.
Socrates, you hear me now?
It might be the headphones. Let me switch channel. Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Socrates, what I'm saying, let me say these things quickly. What I've been saying, for example, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 26 to chapter 30, it shows you obey God's commands, He will bless and reward you. You disobey His commands, His instructions, His word, He will punish you. And among the punishment He names out, some of them have to do with the weather and the climate. So, and plus crimes and other social ills and failures and that sort of stuff. So yes, the spiritual does affect the physical. And God promised to bless us or curse us. He is dependent on whether we obey His word for His blessings or disobey His word, and His judgment and wrath fall on us. So yes, there's a connection.
Okay.
What I would also say that the churches, maybe the biggest reason why the churches are not speaking is because they're getting so much perks and so on from the government. Why offend the government when you're getting so much perks? You're duty free, you're able to buy, you get land and all kind of stuff from the government, and you want to be in the good books because you want to enjoy political power with them and that sort of stuff, especially when your party's in. So why rock the boat? Why should the pastors and so on rock the boat when they care more about the world and the things of the Bible? So it's a whole rigmarole, evil, wicked mess going on. And not only that, but I would also tell the churches, when you are incorporated, you're not really a church of God, no. You is a corporation. And God does not like that. When you are incorporated, you have become a creature of the state. The state created you as a corporation, not God.
Okay.
So all of these things a ton load of things need to be sorted out where the church is concerned because they have gone too far astray away from the Bible, enjoying the world, being more of the world than of the Bible. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I would like to, if I may, focus more on the information that pertains to the hurricanes, etc. Do we have a call?
No. But I'm gonna read what I have because they don't have
so
any.
we ask the callers to hold for a second while we present this information.
Weather.com, that's the website run by the Weather Channel. They're doing updates. So I'm gonna read two updates. The last one was 11:19 a.m. and there's a 10:52 a.m. one. So I'll read that one as well. Okay. So at 10:52 a.m. it says roof torn, storm surge in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Video shared by Trinidadian radio station Slam 100.5 shows roofs ripped from homes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines Monday morning. Storm surge started filling a street near homes, and the country's emergency management agency announced on Facebook that it lost all of its telephone lines. And moving on to 11:19 a.m. this morning, Beryl makes landfall. So Hurricane Beryl made landfall on Carriacou, Grenada, shortly after 11 a.m. with maximum sustained winds of 150 miles per hour.
115 or 150?
150.
Wow.
According to the National Hurricane Center. Carriacou, the largest of the Grenadine island chain at 13 square miles, has a population of about 9,600 people. It's part of the three-island state of Grenada, along with mainland Grenada and Petite Martinique. So that's what we have so far.
Here's a question. 140 is a Cat 4. What is 150? What is sustained winds at 150 miles an hour? Is that a Cat 5?
That I think so. Let me
130, 140 is Category 4. You just read that the one that hit Carriacou, well, they strengthened to 150 miles an hour sustaining winds. So we're looking at category 5 this early in the season.
Let me check.
This is what I want to convey to people here in the leewards. You know, what's happening there quite easily can happen here, and we are very, very early in the season. I said to a young lady last evening, was it not before, that normally we get the impact of the hurricanes around September. This is now the 1st of July. You know? So I'm thinking that's a Cat 5.
It's category 4 still.
150 is Cat 4
Yeah.
still? Okay. Let's hope it doesn't increase. So
it's only 7 miles. Only 7 miles per hour away
traveling
from. No, only 7 miles per hour away from being a category 5. So 157 miles per hour is where
160.
Yeah, is where it starts.
Okay. There was a state of emergency declared for St. Vincent in the past 24 hours, if not longer. And now we hear that the hurricane with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour have made landfall in one of the Grenadines, Carriacou. We know on the east coast of Barbados, they were affected. It's a wide swath. We're covering St. Lucia. We're covering possibly the Dominican Republic. It's a very wide swath. And we here in St. Kitts, we have this mindset that we are blessed. I'm asking people here in the Federation to take every single precaution possible. Also, our families and friends over in Anguilla, those in the USVI, you know, Antigua. I had a friend who was in Barbados to watch cricket, and she got out. She made it out before the airport was closed early Sunday morning. She said to me she would know she lived in a hurricane zone, but she would rather be at home doing any kind of hurricane than be elsewhere. So she made it home. I know airports across the region were indicating they'd be closed at a certain time. So for people traveling up there, we are concerned about them. Yes, we have to be very, very concerned. This is the 1st of July, and this hurricane presented in June, the first ever this early, that strong, a category 4. Right? So now we can go back to the phone lines.
Not surprising the kind of heat we're having the last few months. Huh?
We were complaining over the past weeks about the heat, etc., etc. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, I would also like to say this much, Mr. Socrates, that from my back days in the school, I've always made to understood that Barbados was outside of the normal trail of hurricane travel. Is that correct?
Based on the trajectory of the hurricane, normally the pattern, you know, just touches Barbados and continues on because it's out of the normal path, so to speak.
Correctly. So this is very strange and this is very unique. That's all I'd like to say.
Yeah, because is Barbados on the northernmost point of the windwards? I think so. Trinidad is to the south.
Well, easternmost.
Easternmost.
Because remember, they're not exactly in the chain. They're sort of,
yeah,
you know, out in the Atlantic.
Trinidad is to the south, and they got hit. They got a lot of rainfall, etc., etc. Jamaica, in the opposite direction, they too were expressing concerns and the need to be vigilant and take it seriously. So we here in St. Kitts Nevis, we have been given information from, I think it was the 1st or 2nd of June. I wasn't going to read it, but maybe I should read it given the caller's comment. 10:20 a.m. this morning, 3 utility poles down in Barbados. Officials from the Barbados Department of Energy Management reported 17 incidents across 7 parishes as of Monday morning. 9 reports of power outages, 3 reports of downed utility poles, 2 reports of roof damage, 1 pole fire, 1 report of a downed tree, and at least 1 report of an unstable home. And that was footage shared by CBS News. At what time this morning?
That one is from 10:20 a.m.
10:20 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
And we just
it's 11:38.
38 thereabouts.
No, yeah.
Speaking about downs.
And there was roof damage reported in Tobago at 9:30 a.m. this morning.
Okay, so we're going from Barbados now to Tobago. And they've been flat. You know what happened to them during one of those last major hurricanes? Let's see what Chris Collins has to say. Okay. Neighbor of mine was pointing out to me yesterday that we need to get Skellig to come down to address some trees. Chris Collins writes, the conditions are right for a monster storm. Global warming is real. And he continues, Jam says, right, it's most easterly of the chain. People need to keep a sharp lookout. I know you're up there, you're watching your plate, stuff like that. But thanks for your concern, because you have people in the region here. I know you're from Sandy Point, Newtown, that's what I meant to say. But yes, it is a serious thing. And we had, as I mentioned before, Mr. Abdul Samuel from NEMA and the folks from the Met Office who were here to give us early warning. Now, there's been comment, well, they don't really come on until the hurricane season. But the fact is that we're early clock. And they indicated that there may be twice the normal amount of hurricanes during this season. Voila. Beryl started with a conscious shouting upstairs. Voila. So, we're in trouble based on the predictions of the many hurricanes. And I don't know what more we have to do. I would implore people to find out the names of the persons in the various communities who are essential workers. You have to find out where the shelters are, what the protocol is for those who have elders in their homes, whom they need to get in touch with. In case of emergencies, the numbers you need to have, I don't know if we have them here. We can share them with the public, or Mr. Samuel, or anyone from the Met Office. If you care to share the numbers with us here at the station, we will happily pass them on to the general public, because we need a wake-up call. And we should actually let this serve as a wake-up call, but we first need to be aware. So what you read about what's happening in Barbados in terms of down trees, waters, and this and that, utility poles, what's happening in Tobago, even though they're to the windward of us, these hurricanes normally hit the leewards very hard. I'm thinking about Anguilla. I'm thinking about Barbuda being flat and the impact that they could face. We're mountainous, and sometimes according to where the trajectory of the hurricane, we sometimes escape with minimal or less damage. And I think this informs a mindset that we have, that we are blessed. We are not. We've been lucky thus far. But with the enormity and the volume and the increase in and frequency of the hurricanes that we're hearing about, and whether you want to accept the science or not, or discard it, and say it's an act of God, it's not global warming, you may do so, but you still need to take all the necessary precautions and make sure that your loved ones are informed as best as possible. Right? So we're going to pause one more time to give credit to our sponsors. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Company Limited. We care about your investment. Guarantee you peace of mind. The best team in the business. Guarantee you peace of mind. No other company will. Guarantee you peace of mind. Together we'll succeed and guarantee you peace of mind. TDC Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
We continue with today's presentation of voices. Do we have any call on the line, young fellow? Okay, it has something that was shared with me a short while ago with a friend of the Federation. This is Miss Trace Brenda O'Neill. I'm not sure if she's here or not, but I was asking about the emergency numbers shared with the public, and what she sent me are the following. For NEMA, there's a 466-5100. That's NEMA 466-5100. For the Red Cross, the number is 465, it's a landline, 465-2584. Once again, for the Red Cross, 465-2584. For the Met Office, the number is 465, it's another landline, 465-2749. For emergency, it's 911. Fire Department, 465-2515 or 465-7167. For the Coast Guard, you have to think of official folks. Coast Guard number is 465-8384 or 9280. That's for the Coast Guard, 465-8384 or 466-9280. For the police, 465-2241. Police, it's 465-2241. And for the hospital, it's 465-2551. That's probably a switchboard, but at least it gets you to the emergency numbers. We go now to the phone lines. Good day, caller, live on Voices.
Yes, the king again. You know, I just tell you, if the cap fit you, keep it on, pay for it, and wear it.
Go ahead.
So I'm giving Jamster his cap because Jamster fully well know, and he does it, that the program Island Tea, he is part. So he has all the right to comment when anybody call in. But there are some other programs that people working like the job that Jamster has, and you call in to the person who hosting the show, and they want to take over in front of the host, and he answer you, the caller, and the caller ain't calling to them, the caller calling to the host, like you know the king is the host. And Jamster is really keeping his position. And he will come in if he has to, and you want him to come in. Well, this is what I really want to say now. A lot of times, people go down Church Street to meet certain people down there, and they cannot meet them. The person who they come up, who meet them first, got them going around like a hula hoop around your waist. Well, now that the hurricane is coming and planes will have to be grounded, this is the time to go down Church Street, go look for who you're looking for. They can't go up in a plane to go in.
I went to the airport on Saturday to meet one of the performers, Rick Ross, and he touched down in his own private jet with his name emblazoned around it. So maybe some people have connections to their own private planes. Who knows?
Maybe it could be. Maybe they have drones.
There you go. So it's all about timing, though, having information as to when you can travel. If you are in the general public, have to depend on the commercial airlines. They will take all the necessary precaution. But for heads of state who have to travel and they have that ability to do so, private jets or whatever, they'll do so.
You remember there's a saying, say, when we go away, we don't just go there to take pictures and take gifts and drink camel milk. We're out there talking with investors to come here.
And that could be so.
It could be so, yeah, but we are the investors.
Well, as somebody
Remember-
said last week, sometimes this thing take even years to develop, to bear fruit.
Yeah, listen to this one here. Why ain't supposed to take years? After the election, I was bombarded with calls from overseas investors saying they were waiting for the government to change to come in to invest. Where are they?
Now, sometimes when the mountain don't come to Muhammad go to the mountain.
Okay. I listen to it. So let me move. Let someone else get in. Thank you.
It's such a wonderful thing, understanding. But yes, we keep a pulse, our fingers on the pulse of what's happening in terms of the hurricanes that's affecting our sister countries in the windwards, and we want to learn from those examples in terms of who were caught unaware, even though the information was up there, and do what we can to make sure, as best we can, that the situation are somewhat, prepared for. Any other call at the moment? So yes, Rick was. I saw him for the first time. He was here some years ago for CPL. He would have lost a few ounces here and there. I just never want to. But he touched down in his own private jets. He was driving his band, his crew, from the airport to the hotel to the venue, and then back. And then yesterday morning I missed church because the pickup time was one thing, and then I was supposed to go to church. I missed up, so I apologize. We taking a call? Go to call your live on Voices.
Yes, good there.
Welcome to the program.
You just released some emergency numbers, right, to call if anything happens. Now, what I would like to ask is, in the event that a hurricane will come and you have some host people that experience some trouble, what can be done with these emergency numbers during this passing of the hurricane and you have some destruction to your home? These numbers is to call after the hurricane has passed. So which one is
No. If you have elderly folks in the home prior who you know will need assistance, you call the numbers before. The folks from the Met Office, Anima, Mr. Samuel, they were here about 3 weeks ago speaking about the impending hurricane season, and they shared a number of contacts with the public as to who you should call in case of. What I read earlier was sent to me by a lady named Brenda O'Neill. She is probably overseas at the moment, but she listens to the program, and she was assisting me. So if in the meantime you want to call the Red Cross or the Med Office and get that information, take the numbers, call, and be informed as to how best to deal with the situations. Because if you have, say, your elders living in a house by themselves that you go to visit, you don't want to leave them there in that situation. You want to take all precautions possible prior to. Because sometimes the roads, they're blocked by falling trees. You can't get to them. So you don't want to wait until hurricane whatever hits to go and check for your parents. Some years ago, and this is a bit grim, a young couple left their home in the West to come to Bastia to look for their parents. And they were okay. On their way back home, they were washed over at Bloody Point. They've not been found since.
Oh, okay.
They were washed over there in Bloody Point. Sometime after I saw the parents down there with backhoe trying to find it, they've not beat the car. Their entire, they disappeared. So you want to take all these precautions prior to and not be reacting to a situation that creates panic. So if I may call...
I would like to make a suggestion quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I would think it would be good if the government could put duty-free concession on all tools and supplies that could be used to strengthen the home, like nails, screws, boards, that kind of thing. And if they could organize a team to go and assess roofs, and if any necessary reinforcement could be done, it can be done at a reduced cost.
Okay, good point. I think some time ago there were, sorry that we made a lot of connection. Some time ago there were assistance in terms of generators to the public. When it became really necessary that we did, when it came evident we didn't have the power supply, so I think there was something I'm not sure exactly how that worked out, but yes. Lobbying is a big thing. I think if you go to a certain organization, you can do that rather than individually. Everybody going to get their own little thing. So that's a good idea. I don't know if you could call back and... But the numbers I called earlier, I'm going to share them again before we go to the media news break. I'm going to start with NEMA's number. That number is 466-5100. That's NEMA's number. Then there's a Red Cross, 465-2584. This is in fine print, and as you go older, you can't see too well. The Met Office number is 465-2749. Right? Fire Department 465-2515 or 465-7167. The Coast Guard 465-8384 or 466. The single down 466-9280 again, the Red Cross, the Coast Guard. 466-9280 Police, 465-2241 Hospital, 465-2551. Where do I have to call it back? Bye. So yes, that's sharing some contact numbers with the public for folks who may need to be in touch with those entities. I would suggest for those who have their elders living by themselves, who they have to go and check on periodically, make all the necessary arrangement, especially if there is a named hurricane bearing down on our destination. Got 5 minutes going up to the midday hour. We're going to pause then. Do we have any call in the meantime? Okay. So that's the situation. Please consider seeing guests. Okay. I'm going to read this thing after Brenda. Okay? Give me 2 seconds and I'll address this. So, yeah, it's the first day of July. We're in the 7th month of the year, and the year is going by fast. But normally we know when it comes to the hurricanes impacting on the Federation, it's around September. The information from the mid-office and the folks at NEMA is that because there's an increase in the numbers of hurricanes and the frequency, expect a very active season. Normally the 11 hurricanes name or system name, and some percent will develop into major hurricanes. We've had the first ever this early in the hurricane season in June. And it's gone to Category 4. Devastating from what we've had so far, some of the islands in the windwards. We don't need for people to twist arm behind our back for us to take whatever precaution. Stop believing and passing on to our people that we are blessed. We are not. We were lucky those many times around. Nobody want to be advocating gloom and doom. But it's the reality. We now live in a hyperactive hurricane season. We're in the zone. We're in the zone. So whether there's to be a government program where to go and assess the property of other persons and make recommendation and offer financial assistance. Somebody does text me and say some of the passport money could come in handy for this. You may have a point. You may have a point. But do not leave it up to the government to secure your property. There are some trees. As a matter of fact, yesterday a neighbor of mine pointed out to me there's a guinea tree. And when you look up, all the utility lines are in the tree. The branches have them. And I said, you know what? Last year, the folks from Skellig came to the back of where I live and they cut down some trees that were there by a utility pole. So I don't know why they're not being around as yet. We've had a lot of rain over the past couple of weeks, months. And so the grass and the shrubbery and the trees are way up there at the same height of the utility poles. So these are things that have to be addressed, because right now, if there was to be some strong winds buffeting those branches, those lines could easily be broken, thereby interrupting your power supply and your communication means. So if you can assist yourself, do so. The folks at Collect, I'm asking you to pay attention, because I knew you did last year. You came out, you cut trees, etc. Whatever you're doing, you need to do this again, because it helps. It helps in so many different ways. What you did, you brought a crew, and you did that service, which is really needed, based on what I saw yesterday. So I'm appealing to the folks at Collect to go out there and do their thing, right? Do your assessments, follow up on what is required. We've got 11:59, and we're about to break for the WINNFM's midday newscast. I believe when we come back, Jamster would have some updates on you, some updates for you as to what's happening with the hurricane in the neighboring islands. Okay. So, yes, sorry about that. Not quite. All right. So yes, the last caller spoke about he was questioning whether or not the government can implement a program where they can go out and assist, make assessments on properties, assist where they can. Not a bad idea, but you need to get to the folks who can lobby on your behalf. You can't go, you shouldn't go on a one-on-one basis, because this is an effort that the government would have to endorse, and I don't believe they'll be handpicking to assist, right? So we are now at the 11th, the midday hour, and we will now pause for the WINNFM's midday newscast. We will continue a little chat on the other side.
Found the sound, 98.9 FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Caribou.
With the WINNFM Headline News, I am Yolanda Weeks. Locally,
Prime Minister Drew pledged support to islands affected by Hurricane Beryl. Vehicle burst into flames on Wellington Road, St. Kitts. 2 assailants rob a Chinese supermarket in St. Paul's.
the details and more straight ahead.
The Windward Islands and the southern Leeward Islands were encouraged to brace for impact by Hurricane Beryl. Several regional leaders, including St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, called for prayers for the islands in Beryl's path. Quote, "We continue to see the effects of the climate crisis," Drew said. Prime Minister Drew advised, quote, "This hurricane season is predicted to be active and may set records. We must remain vigilant and prepared," unquote. Prime Minister Drew has been in communication with Prime Ministers Gonsalves, Mitchell, Motley, and Pear of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, and St. Lucia, respectively, and pledged the Federation's support as they face the impacts of Hurricane Beryl. Barbados and Tobago are at the backside of the storm, but will continue to experience tropical storm conditions as the system moves further away. However, a direct impact of Category 4 Hurricane Beryl was forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and the Grenadines. Based on advisories issued on Monday morning, forecasters warned that Beryl will have destructive hurricane-force winds and life-threatening storm surges when it makes landfall on the islands. Due to the weather conditions, the Caribbean Community CARICOM postponed its 47th regular meeting for regional heads of government. The high-level meeting was slated for July 3 to 5, 2024 in St. George's, Grenada. CARICOM said, quote, "The primary focus of the community is now on citizens' safety and security." It added, quote, "We implore everyone in the path of this hurricane to take all necessary protective measures. The community stands ready to support our member states, which will be affected by this dangerous hurricane," unquote. Beryl made history by becoming the first major hurricane, Category 3 or higher, to impact the Eastern Caribbean in June. Hurricane Beryl faces an uncertain future in the Caribbean Sea. Though the weather system is likely to weaken, it may impact Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Belize, and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. 2 other weather systems are being closely monitored, including Tropical Storm Chris in the vicinity of Mexico and L96, which is following a similar path to Hurricane Beryl. The Traffic Department of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force launched a probe into a traffic accident that occurred on Monday morning, July 1, 2024, in the vicinity of the government's gas station at Wellington Road, St. Kitts. One of the vehicles, a Jeep, burst into flames thereafter. The St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services was summoned to the scene and extinguished the blaze. Video circulated on social media showing the vehicle on fire, and soon its charred remains in the middle of the road. No injuries were reported as at news time. However, the incident affected traffic flow in its vicinity. You can expect more on this developing story during the 6 p.m. newscast. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is investigating the June 29 robbery of a supermarket in St. Paul's, St. Kitts. The robbery, according to police, occurred between 8:30 and 9 p.m., where 2 armed masked assailants entered Zeng's supermarket and robbed the owner of an undisclosed sum of money before making their escape. Individuals who may know or see anything relating to the crime are asked to call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 707 or make a report to the nearest police station.
Regionally,
the Pan American Health Organization's 35-page report into the deaths of a cluster of preterm babies at the Port of Spain General Hospital's neonatal intensive care unit is now public.
We are of the view, however, there are certain findings that require urgent clarification.
Among the report's main findings is the absence of personnel responsible for infection prevention and control at a high level within the hospital. An IPC lead is tasked with keeping patients safe by minimizing the risk of potentially deadly outbreak of infection. The baby's deaths had previously been attributed to neonatal sepsis, a bacterial infection. On Friday, Health Minister Terence Jarsing told the Parliament that of PAHO's recommendations, several were already part of the standard operational procedure, including the institution of early breast milk feeds. It comes almost 2 months after the investigation commenced. What the report does not do, however, is identify who is responsible for the baby's deaths, as its objectives were to strengthen the hospital's IPC program and assess its bacteriology laboratories. It instead also suggested that outbreak identification and number of outbreaks in the last year data were not readily reported. Following the incident, the NWRHS sent the lead of its Infection Prevention Control Unit on administrative leave. Affected families also triggered legal action against the Regional Health Authority, citing medical negligence. The report found that there was a 29 to 80% compliance with infection prevention and control assessment. In their assessment of microbiology, the team found that internal quality assessment was not performed. Also among the 12 findings relating to the NICU were an inadequate ratio of nursing professionals to patients, as well as the absence of policies and procedures for high-level disinfection of equipment. The report shows that 17 out of the 20 fatal neonates between January and April were extremely preterm. 14 of those deaths were due to sepsis. The PAHO team is expected to receive additional data on neonatal sepsis cases and has proposed a follow-up meeting in 3 months to review the rollout and integration of the recommendations made.
Internationally,
now talks between the Taliban authorities and the international community in Qatar will center on measures to combat the production of illegal drugs and the economy. These UN-led negotiations are the first to include Taliban officials since they seized power almost 3 years ago. However, the absence of women and civil society figures at the Taliban's insistence has prompted criticism from rights groups and activists. The Taliban's spokesperson stated that they wanted to engage, but urged others not to interfere in issues they describe as internal, including women's rights. Well, let's go live now to our correspondent, Caroline Davies, who's following the talks in Doha. So, Caroline, first of all, how much of a backlash is there against the UN and other international representatives for not including Afghanistan women in these talks?
So, Catherine, we've heard from Human Rights Watch, we've heard from Amnesty International, we've also heard from various different civil society groups as well about the fact that these talks are going ahead with the Taliban authorities in the room, these representatives from lots of different countries around the world led by the UN, but in that room there will not be civil society representatives. Now, they are having talks tomorrow instead, that is these special representatives and some of civil society from Afghanistan, but the whole point of this was that there was no conversation that was happening with the Taliban in the room and those civil society organisations in the room as well. Now, there has been backlash, there has been concern. Some people have accused the UN of caving to the Taliban authorities' demands on this. Now, the other argument on the other side is that there have already been 2 sets of talks here in Doha which didn't include having the Taliban authorities around that table. And some have questioned whether or not there was any way forward, really, to solve many of Afghanistan's problems without actually having the Taliban in the room and having some form of discussion. The big question, of course, is whether the sort of things that the UN have agreed to in order to be able to get the Taliban into the room in the first place, whether that will lead to some form of conducive talks, whether that will lead to any bigger changes in the future.
And what kind of results could come out of these talks, Caroline, to help alleviate the humanitarian and economic situation in Afghanistan?
Well, most people that we've been speaking to here, and we've been talking to many of the diplomats as they've come out of some of these different meetings, they've all emphasised that this is a process. In terms of actually getting any finalised results, in terms of having some massive breakthrough, everyone we've spoken to has said don't expect that from these talks. This is the first time that the international community en masse has met the Taliban authorities, has met the Taliban officials. A lot of them have been having these conversations bilaterally, meeting them in Kabul one-on-one. But this is the first time the international community has done this sort of meeting since the Taliban authorities took control of Afghanistan in August of 2021. So no one is expecting a massive breakthrough. The best case scenario most people have described to us, they hope, is that the process will continue, that they'll come up with some form of concrete measures to be able to keep moving in that direction. And the worst case scenario would be that the talks broke down altogether. From reading the room yesterday after they had a working dinner, it seems that both sides are feeling relatively positive. But of course, we've got more talks to happen today. We'll see how people are feeling by the time we get to this afternoon.
Carrie, thank you. That's the BBC's Carrie Davies there in Doha for us.
In the Garden of England, this berry farm stretches for miles across some of the most fertile land in the UK. Inside, the pace is quick and the fruit plentiful, but what it lacks is enough workers to pick the crop.
All my work I used to coming from Eastern Europe, and when I go back, British government didn't let them to come into the country, and we losing about £1.5 million.
The end of the freedom of movement with the EU isn't the only problem.
I can't pick it because I haven't got the staff, and that is what's happened in the last 3 years. So you've had Brexit, freedom of movement, you've had COVID, knock-on effect. Then we had obviously the Ukrainian war. We trained up staff, we lost that trained staff because of the war.
These issues working up a perfect storm of labour shortages that the National Farmers Union says caused production to be cut by a third in some businesses since 2020. And though the government introduced a 6-month seasonal workers visa, farmers here say it's not enough.
At the moment, for my industry, we've got 45,000 licenses, seasonal workers licenses that are coming in. Do we need that? Yes. Do we need double that? We 100% need that. We're growing more. We're getting better at growing. If we're getting better at growing, we need the manpower to help us grow.
But politicians, both in office and in opposition, have vowed to reduce immigration, not bring more people in.
The current Conservative government wanted to encourage farmers to gradually start replacing overseas workers with British ones, but that hasn't happened. And in reality, the majority of people who work in farms like this one come from abroad. Where are you from?
Philippines.
From India, Uzbekistan,
Bulgaria,
Macedonia.
They have tried to recruit locally here, but without much success.
Make sure they don't leave any fruit behind.
And their business model depends on trained staff coming back season after season.
It's a skilled job. It takes ages to learn it. It's very, very difficult. The crop here, they last 2 or 3 days. If you miss 2 days, the crop is gone. If you don't have the people, we are lost.
A steady supply of overseas workers may not be what the politicians say they want, but it is what farmers here say they need. Milena Veselinovic, Vejle Vivsham, UK.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carrie Brewery.
With over a century of perfection behind the Magazine name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Magazine Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Magazine. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organisation on St Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive live on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Attention, savvy shoppers. It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family with Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. For over 25 years, we've been making dreams come true by offering cashback coupons for free groceries on all hire purchases. That's right, we've given away over $1 million worth of groceries to our loyal customers. And this year, it's your time to cash in on the savings. Whether you're in the market for a new sofa, a sleek kitchen upgrade, or a cozy bedroom set, Hortford's and Ashley Furniture Home Store have everything you need to turn your house into a home. And when you make a higher purchase with us, you'll receive cashback coupons redeemable for free groceries. Yes, sir. So why wait? Visit Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Upgrade your home, feed your family, and save big with cashback coupons for free groceries. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
What do you know? It's 12:20, and we're back for the second half of today's presentation of Voices. So welcome back to all our viewers and listeners. Rosemary, why don't you, if you can find out what's happening in Digger Martin with your family, make a call and let me know so we can, pass up some information, right? And I was sent some information. Someone heard me asking for information, contact numbers of essential workers, those who work with NEMA, another organization. So they wrote, "Good morning, King. Here is the list of NEMA district managers." Thank you, Adina. District 1, Southeast Peninsula to Victoria Road East. Manager, Mr. Ron Buddy. His number is 663-0421. That's the Southeastern Peninsula to Victoria Road East. And the manager is Mr. Ron Buddy. His number is 663-0421. His assistant would be Mr. Hester Rollins. Number 660-0901. District 2, Victoria Road West to Wrigley Avenue East. Manager, Mr. Vincent Fo. His number is 663-1130. Mr. Vincent Fo's number is 663-1130. And his assistant manager is Mr. Sidney Bridgewater, number 664-09 1073. District 3, and this goes from Wrigley Avenue West to Palmetto Point. Manager would be Miss Karen Crossman. And her number is 661-3282. That's Manager Karen Crossman. Number 661-3282. And these are the list of NEMA district managers. Ms. Crossman's assistant manager would be Livingston Huggins. And his number is 664-7948. We come now to District 4. Challengers. Wow. Give me a second. This thing just flipped on me. District 4. We're going from Challengers to New Guinea. Manager, Mr. Derek Boone. His number is 663-6401. That's District 4, Challengers to New Guinea. Manager, Mr. Derek Boone, and his number is 663-6401. Assistant Manager, Mr. Corinne Small. Assistant Manager, Corinne Small, and her number is 663-5036. District 5, Sandy Point to Fig Tree. I have a call I have to take after. But Sandy Point to Fig Tree. And the manager is Travis Douglas. Number is 660-0591. Assistant Manager, Preeta Douglas. That's P-R-E-E-T-A Douglas. Her number is 665-0606. We come now to District 6, Newton Ground to Harris. That's where Harris is, but Newton Ground to Harris. Manager is Eric Francis. That's Eric Francis, whose number is 765-9719. Assistant Manager, Sir Joseph Richardson, and his number is 661-8734. District 7, Bellevue to Otley's Got West. That's Bellevue to Otley's Got West. Manager, Mr. Warren Thompson, and his number is 668-8922. Assistant Managers, Traveling Stapleton. There's a number for her. There's a number there, but it goes to Cuban Sergeant 668-8922. And that's all part of District 7. So let me get that again, because there are 3 names here, but only 2 numbers. So District 7, Bellevue to Otley's Gus West. Manager, Warren Thompson. His number is 668-8922. Assistant Managers, Traveling Stapleton, no number, but you have Cuban Sergeant listed, and his number is 668-8922. So they're both sharing the same numbers. Same number. Okay. District 8, Otley's Got East to St. Peter's. Manager, Ralda Claxton. 667-1133. Assistant Manager, Jeremy Thomas. That number is 668-9549. And that's what they have in terms of the managers for the various district. These are NEMA managers. And at some point before we conclude today's presentation, I'll read those numbers again. They're very vital for us to have. And we share that some more. So I was taking a call. Yes. We're still dealing with the hurricane season, the potential and all that. Let's take this call, see what they have to contribute. Good day, caller, live on Voices.
Yeah, the King, good afternoon.
Welcome back to the program.
It sounds like you had a powerful hurricane launch.
Well, we have to be prepared.
Definitely. One little thing I'm going to say. In spite of the difficulties that we're going to face as a result of the hurricane, the trees that you spoke about in Sandy Point, that those trees should have been cut down like tomorrow or yesterday. Because we know what happened when the power lines run between trees. As soon as you touch the tree, you will get executed. And I think a lot of people who work with skeleton
Electrocuted.
know that too. Eh?
Electrocuted. yeah, no, you have me tight tongue. Electrocuted. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You know something?
Mm-hmm.
If you standing up by a tamarind tree, rain falling,
Mm-hmm.
and lightning and thunder cracking and flashing, it depends on how you grounded to that tree. You can get electrocuted.
Now you got it.
Yeah, now hear this here now. Things were going good all years when we had cable and wireless telephone. And then from cable and wireless telephone, we went to Scantel. Things were going good. Then from Scantel, we went to Lime. Things were going good.
Mm-hmm.
From Lime, now we gone into Flow. And things gone bad. Because what happened here now? Flow intertwined with Skelec, with your house phone, landline. And when the current goes up, your landline dead, like ice. Can't work. So if you don't have a little change on your cell phone to call somebody, dog, what could dig a hole better off than you?
And at those times, the landlines are often more dependable.
Right.
Because you can very easily lose your cell service. The towers may be down, the atmospherics, etc. So the landline are what we depend on at those particular times.
Yeah. Because your cell phone could fall down, bam, it stop work. Your landline tumble down, still working. Current gone, you could call this radio station, the radio station, with your landline. It cannot happen now. Because they come in your house and they put what they put in there and talking about fiber optic. And mess up people.
Fiber optic is good, you know, and in any way you are in the world now, you should anticipate an interruption in certain services during these natural disasters.
Okay.
So you prepare for them as best you can. Extra batteries here, if you can afford a generator, if you can put whatever in place to mitigate whatever damage can be forthcoming, you do so.
But you see, a lot of people balling with this thing, what they do to them with the landline, but everybody thinking people afraid to speak out and put action towards a problem. They got problem. I know a man at Buckley standing up between some white managers. He black, you know, he want to believe he white. They are conversing. And one of them stepped back and he foot in some sneakers. He had on sneakers and the manager got on his horse riding boots. Standing up on the black man tongue before he tell him, look, come on, you're mashing me. He there trying to drag out the foot from under the man heel.
Go and bear it. Go ahead.
Yeah, only to know that he pull out the toenail out the toe. So he won't tell him, I lift up him could have my foot, man.
He want to go and bear it.
Okay, because he want to believe he white. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that call. Thank you for your contribution and the information that you shared. I want to share something with the public that happened to me years ago, and I hope it doesn't evoke any negative memories. It's a case of where during one of the hurricanes, a young man was out in the yard and he was urinating. He happened to pee on an exposed electrical cable. It killed him. The power of the current just went because of the water into his body and killed him. Actually, out in the yard, I think a hurricane had passed. So he was out in the yard, young teen, and wanted to pee. He just decided to pee in whatever direction, and there was an exposed power line there. And it killed him. Of course, it was a tragedy. I know the family very well. It's very hard to take in. So we have to be very careful, even in hurricane situation. You don't go out. This happened in, I would say, the early 80s or late 70s. The parents, well, the father was into law enforcement. He has since then passed. The mother is yet alive. But they lived in Sandy Point at the time. He was actually stationed, the father, in Sandy Point, and that's where the tragedy took place. Hurricane would have passed. And one has to be careful directly, we're going out in the streets, etc., directly after hurricanes pass it, because sometimes they're down power lines, hangling, dangling. You may not feel they have power in them. You don't want to find out the wrong way. So there was a very innocent situation. Hurricane passed. Young man decided to go up in the yard, and right there, who would have thought it killed him? You know, so one has to be very careful. These things can affect you in so many different ways. So the information I was sharing, because somebody called to ask, in the case of his elder person being by himself, what should be the response? I'm saying be proactive. Do not wait until the incident happens where you cannot communicate, you cannot get there physically. Power lines down, this across the road, you can't get there, you're panicking. It is too late at that point in time to put measures in place for your loved ones. I am talking about this because I know, based on what was shared with us earlier on, this is going to be a very active season, and it can have devastating impact on our people. Look what happened with the very, very first hurricane. Category 4. Category 4. This early, first time ever. It's unusual. It's unusual. It's way outside the norm to have such a major hurricane impacting this early, first time, record setting, a Cat 4 in June. Right? So, for those who would want to say that this is correlated to the behavior of the people on the ground, those who are doing seances, whatever it is, I'm not going to go down that road. I am not a biblical scholar. I'm not a theologian. I entertain the call because the program does that. But I wasn't go so far as say that these things are happening as a result of. I have no authority on that. There are those who said that Haiti was bound to suffer because of their religious practices. Right? And you have all these outlandish theories as to why these are happening. All I know that they're happening. We have been very lucky so far in terms of when we compared the impact of hurricanes on our neighboring islands and how we were spared. That level of our devastation, this is the year that you don't take things, you don't be blasé about the whole thing. Right? So there is that. Let's see what Ms. Dolly is saying. She has family in East. Well, let's see now. That's okay. Somebody sent a text about. I was inquiring about a family situation in Trinbago because I know that. Okay, somebody was trying to call me. Sorry, I couldn't take the call because I was live. I was trying to call you, but no response. We're okay here for the time being. This is from Trinidad. Right? We're okay for the time being. Most people are at home, and the Ministry of Education closed all schools. It's a lot of wind and intermittent rain without any damages. We are hoping that it will not change. We're praying, of course. How are you? Thank you for your concern. Of course, we are each one's keepers. Okay. And this is out of 868. This is out of Trinidad. So we know that the hurricane would have dumped a lot of rain and some strong winds over there. But this is a report from a family in Diego Martin, and I'm going to read it again. Hi, Socrates. I was trying to call, but no response. I was actually live on the broadcast. We are here for the time being. Most people are at home, And the Ministry of Education called close all schools. It's a lot of wind and intermittent rain without any damages. We are hoping that it will not change. Well, it will change for the better. We are praying. How are you? Thank you for your concern, and God bless. Beautiful. Now, during the news broadcast, the PM is recorded as pledging assistance for our sister country in the WINNMedia that were affected. And I recall some years ago there was a bit of outcry from our people here when the then Prime Minister pledged, if it was not $1 or $2 million to Dominica. You recall that, Jamster? Some years ago when the PM, former PM, I think it was PM Douglas, I'm not sure if it was him or Timothy, had pledged, was Harris, was pledged to send either $1 or $2 million to Dominica because they suffered badly from hurricane. People went over on nonsense. Oh, we got money to send Dominica. Hey. When, they compared it to Haiti too. But we do send assistance to Haiti and these neighboring islands when they're affected. Fella, the thing could turn around. People was upset. Oh, you got money to send Dominica, this and that. Okay, let's set this call. Call your live on Voices.
Socrates, good afternoon.
Welcome back to the program.
Yes. First of all, I would like to say, Socrates saying that God will send these hurricanes and so is not to deny the science. As a matter of fact, the non-Christian only see the physical, but the true Christian with spiritual eyes see both physical and spiritual and know that God is in control of everything, including all that goes into making a hurricane, be it weak or strong.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, the UN panel, which is called the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, they are a climate alarmist group, okay?
Climate alarmist.
Climate alarmist group. I believe anything to make climate change look bad, I think they would print it. But even though I said that they are such, even they have said and have written that as far as where hurricane strength and frequency are concerned, they haven't seen any trend or any evidence that they're getting more frequent or stronger. And hurricanes of 150, 160 and so on have been around always. And it's only a matter of time before 1 or 2 or 3 or so might hit your country. But when they hit your country, it does not mean that on a whole they are increasing in strength and in frequency. Because the IPCC said they have not found any evidence or any trend that such is happening on a whole, as much as alarmists they are. Now, I've said something and it has been very controversial, but I will always stand by it. Because, one, it is in line with the Bible, where economics are concerned with the teachings of the Bible. What is called price gouging in time of economic emergency, and I'm stressing, in time of economic emergency, this is the context that I am mentioning it in. In time of economic emergency, what is called price gouging is actually a good thing because it helps your economy to recover a whole lot quicker, and not only that,
at the expense of whom?
Sure.
At the expense of whom?
At the expense of whom?
Yeah.
No, at the benefit of everybody. At the benefit of everybody. Because another thing is that price gouging does in a positive way. When the prices are jacked up in time of economic emergency, this is the context I'm talking in. I'm not talking about all the time. I'm talking about in time of economic emergency. more people are able to get stuff when price gouging is what we call price gouging is done. Because if you do not carry up the prices during time or in times of national crisis, what happens is that there is a rush on those goods. And those who are at the top of the line is who going to get them. And a lot of people going to have to go.
So price gouging equalize the whole thing?
So price gouging ensure more people.
I am not buying a rational. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. But tell me, during time of economic emergency, don't you see a rush on goods?
Yes,
And
there's a
don't you see
panic.
that
There's
panic.
There's panic buying, but don't tell me that price gouging assists the poor.
Well, what you think? The things on the shelf just go off the shelf very quickly.
Panic shopping, but I'm saying that's
Right.
different to price gouging. You know,
Right.
that is
No,
different.
Hold on. Panic shopping happened because a lack of price gouging. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If price gouging is done, the panic shopping would not be able to finish the goods them as quickly as they do finish when there's no price gouging. And so therefore, most people, including the poor, do not get a lot of stuff. Because those few who are able to go in early buy them up through panic shopping. And that is what you see during times of national emergency, like hurricanes and that sort of stuff. A lot of the shelves, a lot of them and shelves go off quickly.
Here's
Only
what
few-
there
only the
can
few
be
get them.
two different things there.
What's that?
There can be two different things there. Panic shopping doesn't necessarily mean price gouging. Two different things.
No, no.
Two different things. I heard you. I heard you. Right? Panic shopping doesn't necessarily redound to price gouging. Especially in cases where the governments would have given concessions to the merchants to help unaffected people. So like during COVID. And they, in turn, even though they got concessions from the government to pass on whatever to the poor people, jacked up the prices. They benefited both ways. The poor people did not benefit, so it wasn't good for the economy. Good for the merchants, not for the consumer. So I am not buying that. Price gouging does not benefit the consumer.
Again,
we had a case where, let me repeat, the government gave concessions to the merchants, the importers, so they can pass the relief on to the consumer. And they themselves, in the back of it, brought their substandard product forward, those that were already past their expiry date, forward, put them on the shelves, and people in the panic shopping, they bought. But it was not necessarily a good thing for the consumer. So price gouging, to my mind, does not benefit the consumer.
Again, Socrates, you are talking about in normal times. I'm not talking about in normal times. I'm talking about during times of a national
during
crisis.
COVID, it was a national crisis. It was normal time. During COVID's passage, those were not normal times.
Well, no, those were not normal time because during COVID passage, you so quickly toilet paper and so went off the shelf.
Panic shopping.
But what I'm saying, panic shopping happens in absence of price gouging. That's what I'm trying to show you during a national emergency. And because of the panic shopping during a national emergency, because of the lack of price gouging, you have poor people, especially poor people, do not get a lot of the stuff that they need because they think them off the shelf fly off quickly to the few who are able to buy them up quickly and early. I'm saying during a national crisis. But during normal time, the problem that you're describing during normal time is because of government protections of agents. So it's really two different issues. During normal time, when you have prices jacked up, that is because the government are protecting agents. and saying that only the agents could bring in this and bring in that and sell this and sell that and sell that.
There are certain
Whereas
contracts
if the government
with
was to take away the protectionism of agents.
there are certain
and let
contracts
everybody
with certain
bring in this thing and
suppliers.
sell them. Hello?
Certain contracts with certain suppliers dictates those exclusive rights to import certain things.
Government don't have to give them exclusive rights.
It's not it's not a government issued right.
It is a government issue because because they could take you to court and use the law against you that the government made that you who are not the agent cannot bring in what they're bringing in and selling. So it's a government issue. That is the problem during normal time.
The CIC
Why
has a
things are
major
so
role
high.
to play in that.
Hello?
The Chamber of Industry of Commerce has a major role to play
It's
in that.
government make the
They're
law.
part of the regulatory body.
But government made the law. You cannot enforce a regulation that does not exist on the books. It's government to put them on the books.
Suppose I give you the exclusive to import, say, polymango.
But who is the you? Who is the you? The government or the person you're doing
I am the
business with?
supplier from overseas.
Okay, the supplier from
I want you to have exclusive right to sell my product. So I'm going to give you concessionary rates, right? So you're going to make a good markup. So you have a corner on that market. The government's job is to collect the taxes, the requisite taxes, not to tell you what you could import, you can import from a supplier.
But the government tells people that if you are not the agent, you cannot bring in something and sell it, and you have an agent here already selling it.
This is in accordance with international trade.
No, so what are you telling me? If you, the government, decide, hey, I'm not going to be protecting agents. I'm going to let everybody bring in whatever they want to bring in and sell whatever they want to sell. What's going to happen? Who could do something about that? What the international trade going to do? As a matter of fact, international trade is more going in the direction of openness. If you want to be honest, if we want to be honest about it, international trade is more going in open markets, openness direction.
They are not going to entertain a free-for-all when it comes to certain goods and products on the market.
A free-for-all in allowing people to bring in whatever they want to bring in and sell creates competition, which bring down prices.
Yes, but at the same time, they're not going to have you selling the same product as the next importer.
Who is not going to have you?
The CIC, I mean, the regulation that you follow, there's certain trade thing that you follow. I'm not going to give you a contract to sell this product at that price and then give a next person in the same territory a similar contract to sell at a lesser price. So that competition doesn't work.
But let that contract be between the supplier and the merchant or the agent.
Are.
But the government ought not to get into that and say only the agent could sell it. That's what I'm trying to say.
They don't.
They do because people have been
They are into the taxes. They collect the taxes based on what's imported, which helps to run the country. But they don't dictate who. They don't dictate who could sell this and who could sell that. They don't.
Okay.
They be conflict with business.
Let me give you one case where this actually happened. There's a merchant that was selling a product, a big supermarket that's selling a product, and somebody else decided to bring it in and sell the same product. And the big agent who owns this market took the person to court.
Who is that?
And used the law.
Was it the government or the agents?
Hello?
Was it the government that took the person to court or the agents?
No, the agent.
Because they're laws.
That's what I'm telling you.
There are regulations.
Those laws.
The infringements.
But what I'm telling you, the government need to get rid of those laws so that no infringement could happen. And that will create competition.
Jamso, you remember Daewoo? Daewoo was a brand, yes, it was an auto brand that a young man had brought here to St. Kitts. He was doing exceedingly well on the market. TDC were not the agents. But when they bought his franchise, they bought it from him so they could sell. And people said, well, he shouldn't do that but they were the conglomerate who could afford to approach the agent. And they said, no, we have a contract with this young man. And so they went to him, and they used the phrase, they bought him out. But they could not import vehicles here because he was the agent. They were the supplier, he was the agent. Government, they had no say in that. It was between the young man and, well, it's still the sea. And whatever arrangements they got to, they became the importers or the agents for Debu. That's how it works. Government can't tell you can't sell this and that. They're there to regulate. And they must conform with the laws of trade. They cannot dictate, well, Jamster, you can't sell this and you can't sell that. Once it's on the open market, that's how it works. So, my friend, I know sometimes we hear from you as to how the government ought to be run, but in this case, they don't dictate who sell what. Right? There's certain licenses, protocols. Once you meet the requirements, you're good to go. We pause now for a few kind words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Okay, I was asking for our station breaks. I don't know if you missed that.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
It's 12:55, and we're well into the second segment of today's presentation of Voices. I thought I would really focus on the hurricanes and the hurricane season that's impending to get people more aware as to what's out there and to get them in the mindset that we have to take this hurricane season a lot more seriously than previously we did. We have some almost 24 named hurricanes approaching us. The first one would have made land in Grenada. We saw some footage of that. We know it touched on in Barbados. I had a report from Trinidad that there were lots of rain, winds, etc. No serious damages yet, but they're praying and all that. So be mindful of that as we go to the phone lines. Go to the caller, you're live on Voices. Yes, good morning. Good afternoon.
Something wrong with the radio station then because we're getting poor reception here in the countryside.
What's your location?
I'm in town right now and it's still weak.
Okay, let me explain.
Let Jamster respond to that.
Okay.
Can you hear him?
No, the Atlas level transmitter is off, but Skellig is having trouble getting up there because the road is dangerous. The road up the hill is very dangerous to negotiate right now.
I recognize a number of radio stations. You're not receiving them good when you leave town. And by the time you leave town, everything's scrambled. Everything gone off.
This is Mr. Davis?
Yeah, this one. I could have sworn that y'all wasn't on, but it's when I reach in town now.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
When you come in the station for chat me forward, man? When you coming?
I'll promise you sometime in the week when you are.
Okay. I'm on Wednesday again.
I will talk with you with that.
I'm on Wednesday again.
I was just curious of what's going on with the stations then because I'm trying to listen in and they still,
Poor reception.
Yeah.
Well, he says that the transmitter antenna at the Atlas level is down, but The access road right now is because of the rain and the conditions is a bit dangerous. So they are addressed it as soon as possible.
Yeah, now I understand.
Appreciate the call.
All right then. Cool.
All right, sir. Okay, bye. Any other call at the moment? Okay. James is saying a sister radio station is on generator power at the moment because there's no power there. So he did say other stations are also having challenges. All right. Now let me share some more information that somebody sent me so I can be better informed. So I'll share this with the public. Hurricane categories. A category 1 would have winds up to 95 miles an hour. That is from 75 to 95 miles an hour. A category 2 would have winds from 96 to 110 miles per hour. A category 3 would have winds from 111 to 130 miles an hour. That's 111 to 130 miles an hour for a category 3. A category 4 would have winds from 131 to 155 miles an hour. That's category 4, from 131 to 155 miles an hour. And for a category 5, winds greater than 155 miles an hour. So that's why we had this thing this morning when it went up to 150. I was inquiring whether or not it was a category 5. It was still a 4. Let me give you once again. In terms of hurricane categories, a category 1 hurricane would have winds from 74 to 95 miles an hour. Category 2 would have winds from 96 to 110 miles per hour. Category 3 would have winds from 111 to 130 miles an hour. A category 4 would have winds from 131 to 155 miles an hour. And a category 5 would have winds greater than 155 miles an hour. So that's information that will better serve us. In terms of the question as to when Skellig should have gone to address these trees that's, intermingling with the power lines, I'm going to guess maybe they thought they had more time. Maybe it was a later time last year than now. This, to some people's mind, is still early in the season because here in St. Kitts, we normally get affected later on around September. This is now the 1st of July. The start of the hurricane season began on the 1st of June. We have never had a major hurricane this early in the season. And maybe that's why the good folks at Skellig haven't gone out to do their due diligence as yet. We take this caller. You are live on Voices.
Good afternoon, the King.
Good afternoon, sir. How about thou?
I'm giving thanks for life. Yourself?
Oh, did it this morning.
Okay. I have permission to speak?
Most certainly.
As I listen, and we appreciate the information that was gleaned and was forwarded to you so that you can
share with the public.
Bring to the general public the awareness of various districts or the persons who to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. All that is welcome because for whatever reason we have lived with hurricanes all our lives, and some preparation and some on behalf of the powers that be, yes, but some of us don't really take these things serious. I had a conversation about a week or two ago with the National of Barbados, and we was talking about the things we had in common and some of the things that we didn't have in common. The intense hurricanes that comes our way, the more track northerly. Very seldom you'll find that they keep that low, or if they keep that low, it depends on the wind shear and the factors, the high pressures, and the perfect storm, so to speak, will allow them to come further north, and they will track probably say like between Guadeloupe Dominica, Guadeloupe, and further north, as opposed to the way that you will find them like the ones now we have. And so we are all in this thing together. And we had a conversation with the lady. I had a conversation with the lady about such things we had in common and which we cannot really speak so favorably about. But as you name out the different categories and the potential, the numbers to the category. Correct me if I'm wrong here, the King, but follow me. We have had some real intense hurricanes as of late. Maybe Irma and Maria might have fit that description, or one of them. But in terms of whatever scale, the Richter scale, whatever measurement they might use, I think that they need to update these categories now, because I think we have had a hurricane recently that probably would have exceeded the Category 5 level in terms of the numbers. And if that is a measuring rod to determine the potential intensity of hurricanes that we will be facing, because this is in a broader context, the King, the global, the climate change of the weather. I just had a Barbadian visitor. He just about to depart. I just took him back to the airport. And he's saying how hot St. Kitts is. Maybe comparing to Barbados, he's saying he places emphasis on the heat in St. Kitts. So we know these, and the record with Beryl. We know the waters are warm. I take a shower at morning time and the water is real warm. So maybe these guys need to go back to the drawing board and include a Category 6 or a Category 7.
Well, we've had a Category 10 in St. Kitts, you know that?
Huh?
We've had a Category 10 in St. Kitts.
Not officially, because it's only Category 5 they have on the official thing.
Didn't one of our functionaries say that the homes we're building can withstand a Category 10 hurricane?
Well, that was a plug. They tried to put in a plug to see the strength of those buildings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
from a political perspective, politicians will do that.
There's nothing above a Category 5.
Not officially from the meteorologists. We only have up to Category 5.
Yes.
But it seemed like one had exceeded the numbers. What you say a Category 5 is? What you read out just now?
Anything over 155.
And I think I heard one of those hurricanes the other day went up beyond 155.
Well, it was a Category 5.
Huh?
Then it's a Cat 5.
No, it went beyond what the Cat 5 is.
Well, there's a Cat 6.
See the numbers.
There's a Cat 6. Only in St. Kitts there's a Cat 10. But
yeah, but the information that we thanks for sharing that information, because
it was sent to me by Rodina Griffin. She don't want me to call her name, but she sent me the information, so I'm sharing it with the public. Thank you, Rodina.
Good, because we need to sensitize the public as to the potential. We're not out of the woods. This thing just started.
It just started,
and there's so many names names that they have now.
And
they started earlier. Normally, they started...
The earliest on record. Earlier. The earliest. They've never had such a major hurricane in June. So early. I've said a few times today, normally we get impacted around September.
They crossed over the last day in June.
Lenny proved the anomaly by coming that late in the season from the opposite direction. Remember it tore up Old Road Bay? And so you have these anomalies, but this one, and Mr. Samuel, that's Abdia Samuel, and the lady from the mid-office was here earlier on to let us know that there's an increase in the number of hurricanes anticipated this year, an increase in the frequency and intensity. Lo and behold, the very, very, very first one proved them right. Earliest in the season, and the impact has been felt in windwards. We in the leewards now have to take this now as our wake-up call.
Yes, as all things seems that there is an increase in all things. Also, therefore, the category is going to be increased. There wouldn't be no surprise to me that they will come out and say there's a category 6 or a category 7.
Man, I tell you, we have a 10 in St. Kitts Nevis. So we are way ahead of them.
Listening, the King.
Huh?
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so very much for the call. So yeah, a little humorous, from time to time, but yes, we have to take all this seriously. There is no Cat 6 up to Cat 5, and that's recorded anything over 155 miles per hour. So it was an education for me also. I never knew the ranking. I never paid attention. But I think, like myself, a lot of folks need to get in that mindset. Pay attention. Look or listen to the media reports, and you'll be better served. Okay? So there is that. I'm going to go to the contact numbers for the NEMA managers at one point before the program is over. For those who may have missed it, these are folks that you can contact in your various districts when you have issues that relates to the hurricanes and all that. We go to the phone lines, go to the caller, you're live on Voices.
Good day. The previous caller is on the ball. The hurricane watchers a couple years ago did discuss the prospect in light of the increased intensities of creating 2 additional categories, namely 6 and 7.
Wow.
But it has not been officially decided as yet. But that is being explored because there was one that actually had winds, sustained winds as high as 215 miles an hour. And so they're considering probably increasing, making category 6
a new category for that.
180 or 85 miles an hour. And then 7 would be anything probably in excess of 210 miles per hour. So he is on the ball. They are discussing it, but they have not yet made a decision on it. So.
And you are normally on the ball, but you have been missing in action.
Pardon?
You are on the ball, but you have been missing in action.
Missing in action? No. Missing in action now for people bearing arms.
Welcome back to the program. I haven't heard from you for a long time, so that's what I'm saying. That.
One is keeping a low profile, giving the youth an opportunity to make their voices heard, be involved, rather than old fogies like me. I think,
We have the wisdom. Well, I may not be in your category in terms of having the wisdom. You can call me an old fogey. I don't mind. But
no, I'm saying about myself.
It's always good to hear from folks of you who have information to impact with us. So I'm glad you were able to corroborate what Africa was trying to articulate in terms of.
He is quite correct. They have discussed it, but these things, because they're international standards, they would have to be agreed after all. Here in the Caribbean, we call them hurricanes. In the Pacific, they call them typhoons.
Yeah.
And in the Indian Ocean, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, etc., there's another name which escapes me at this time. But and they use different number gradings and also use different names. In our region, we use so-called Hispanic names and English names. Each alternative name is Hispanic or Spanish. There are other rules such as that whenever, as a result of a hurricane, someone dies, that name is never reused again. So there will never be another hurricane, George or Hugo or Donna, because persons died in those hurricanes. So those are some of the general rules that they employ. As you know, a few years ago when we had a rash of them, they got all the way down to the final letter that was used that year, which was a W, and they started all over again with a new set of A, because each year they give letters from A to W. And if they do exceed the actual numbers, then they'll start at A again with a new set.
Well, based on what Mr. Samuel...
for the opportunity to share my thoughts, and may you have a productive hardworking and profitable day, sir.
Well, you're exceedingly welcome every single time. I love having dialogue with you. I look forward to what you have to share and help to educate the public.
There's no charge.
Hey, thank you. Knowledge is power, is also free. Right? Thank you so very much. I appreciate
welcome.
you. All right. So there we had it. There has been discussion to increase or designate a category 6 or 7 based on the intensity and increase in the power of the hurricane. So let's see what happens. It's not a good thing when that's the trajectory of thoughts that we need to go there. But here we go. We go back to the phone lines. Go to caller live on Voices.
Hey, the king.
Yes, sir. How about
I'm good, man. The person who said that the houses can withstand a category 10 hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Because each hurricane for one man.
I don't follow.
That's why he said 10. 10 hurricane, one each for one man.
Talking about 10 man in one?
Oh, okay.
I think the gentleman realized that he made a mistake. It's like that's really over guaranteeing the houses, the strength of the capacity of them to withstand hurricane, or Mother Nature. On my tours, I said we built to withstand gale force of 140 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
When those homes are built, normally, they're built to withstand gale force of 140 miles an hour. Right?
See what happened?
And they're built now, if you look at them, the design, there's a very short overhang when it comes to the roof, which makes it more difficult for those winds to get under the roof and take a roof across to St. Martin. So, being in a hurricane zone, there's certain building codes you have to adhere to. That is why even when you're putting additions to your home, you must go through the planning for them to come and authorize the expansion on your property. Yeah. So for the person who was saying a suggestion that maybe government should go around in the various communities and look at the homes and test the viability, you should be building to the standards of the region. And there was some that were built prior to, etc. But for the many years we're in this business, and you can't build a home that's hurricane proof.
Right.
But there's certain standards that you have to adhere to in order to get authorization from the housing development.
Yeah, after Hurricane Hugo,
Mm-hmm.
the Virgin Islands government decided no house roof should build the rafters out of 2x4. It has to be 2x6 and up.
Okay.
And if you notice and they were supposed to use screws now instead of cap head nails.
Yeah.
That was done because I have worked on many. And if you notice too, the overhang, what used to be something like, it depends on 10 inches of overhang.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you said, when the wind lash on the wall and it goes up, it had something overhead like an umbrella to lift up the roof.
Yep.
That's the reason why they had to shorten the overhang. But when you look at those old-time wooden buildings that was on nag,
yep,
you see the pitch that they gave the ridge pole from 3 feet up, 4 feet steep. So when the wind come in, it instead of get on in it, it bang on top of the roof and keep it down on the frame of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those old wooden house roof, they withstand the hurricanes that pass through, and a lot of the modern houses with a flatter roof.
That is
so. Them old-time carpenters and builders, they had a lot of techniques, and they still work today, because if you build one of these modern wall houses, and you give the roof that kind of pitch, with a very short overhang, your roof will able to withstand these winds.
Okay.
So I just started with that. But remember this, 10 man in one, so each man get a hurricane.
Okay. All right, appreciate that. Thanks, appreciate that. Any other call there? One of the things we didn't really realize about our architecture in terms of the way we build our roofs. A lot of it was influenced by the Europeans. The Irish, check Irish Town. Just about every one of the roofs have a conical design. And that was so that, because in the culture, if you had a flat roof and snow fell, the weight of that snow would cause the roofs to collapse. And so you had this conical shape thing, and so snow would hit it and slide off. That is why they were designed that way. Yes, flat roofs and have all the AC units, and the weight of the snow causes the roof to collapse. Right? So we just follow the design of the day, not knowing that these were European models of homes, where if they live in an area with the snow will slide off, etc. We have a call? Okay, we take this caller. Go to the caller, you're live on Voices.
Blessed Love King.
Always a pleasure hearing your voice. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, man. Nice reasoning. Hurricane preparedness, you know?
Definitely.
Tell me something, this wind we're feeling up here coming off a barrel?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
very well balanced.
Barrel, tell me, I show you. Watch you now.
Scott Whiteman.
This morning, we would call you in there. You had a caller this morning where they talk about the government and NEMA helping the citizens in preparing for the hurricane. I don't know if you remember that, caller.
I do.
I think that's a very good input he made, you know. You understand? Because in light of the fact that we pay property tax, right?
Point of view.
Actually coming in for help.
That's a great point.
Huh?
That's a very, very good point.
Yeah, because people struggling, and then cost of living sky high. So if the government during, that period where they designate for like hurricane preparedness, where you drop the prices and like you would say, and the building materials and the tools them.
Yep.
So make it easier for a man then, you know what I mean? And then even NEMA, all of these people can, got a team where they can go around and actually like assist people in improving preparing the dwellings for the storm.
Because there's a housing tax.
Yeah.
What is it for?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a thing, man, because if the win all, that's very will all the way up here.
Yep. Very wide bandwidth.
Judgment, them man, I got you down there, you know what I mean? It could have been we.
Not too far, because St. Lucia is also affected. It's not too far. Even though they're on the windwards, we're not too far from St. Lucia. Hit Antigua and Barbuda, Antigua in St. Lucia.
Yeah, man, we have to really think about this on another level, man. You know what I mean? And, like maybe have a program where you have and the preparedness period should happen like out of season when the hurricane take vacation. Then you know what I mean? Like they go up till November and then they got half season, so hurricane preparedness starts from there. Maybe till come on to
no, man, people into carnival and different things at the time. They ain't taking you on. We're like goats. We are like goats. When rain start to fall, we decide we can build a house. In the meantime, give me jump up.
We need to get it together, man. We need to get it together.
Yeah.
Help those who help, you know what I mean? But you see them stand, they get bigger and bigger and bigger every time they come on here.
Definitely. And this is the first for the season. So early. First time ever had such a major hurricane in June.
Hey, I think the best we have to do is really move from out of the zone here and go back to Africa. We have to repatriate.
Because here what happened, right? All the hurricanes come off from Africa.
So we have to move out.
All the hurricanes, mainly I would say 95, come off the coast of Africa.
Yeah, every year. So from hurricane hit us every year. We're done. We're done.
We're good, man. We're resilient.
No, you build up, you're going to walk it down again. You build up, you walk it down. Build up. Where you going?
I see.
You're living to build up for it to get walked back down. You understand?
Okay.
So repatriation, we got to consider that the serious thing.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Because this time I get bigger and stronger and stronger. Come on. I'll give thanks for the time. Right?
With respect. We're going to take a next station break, Jamster, and then come back and talk about insurance.
Attention, savvy shoppers. It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family with Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. For over 25 years, we've been making dreams come true by offering cashback coupons for free groceries on all hire purchases. That's right, we've given away over $1 million worth of groceries to our loyal customers. And this year, it's your time to cash in on the savings. Whether you're in the market for a new sofa, a sleek kitchen upgrade, or a cozy bedroom set, Hortford's and Ashley Furniture Home Store have everything you need to turn your house into a home. And when you make a higher purchase with us, you'll receive cashback coupons redeemable for free groceries. Yes, sir. So why wait? Visit Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Upgrade your home, feed your family, and save big with cashback coupons for free groceries. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Okay, we're back with the program, and we're talking hurricane, we're talking government assistance, to the point that someone raised that the government should be out there assisting people with their properties and stuff like that. What do you say when they ask you, what about your insurance? Did you get your home by way of a mortgage to the banks where you had to have an insurance policy in place? Did you bill it from your pockets so you don't think you need insurance? Should the government come to your rescue if you ignore insuring your property and you sustain certain damage? Are they obligated to assist in you? These are questions that someone would pose in terms of property damage, your recovery potential, etc., whether you have insurance or not. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a mechanism whereby you can, to some extent, guarantee that if you sustain certain damage to your property, you are given certain relief. You always hear that you don't get what you ask for, you don't get enough, but if you don't have an insurance at all on your property and you sustain damage, knowing fully well the potential of that in a hurricane zone, should the government feel obligated to assist in you, and at what level? So there's that question. There are some folks who property value is such, and they probably can't afford the insurance. You're paying property tax. So the question is, okay, I am paying property tax to the government. Shouldn't they come and assist me when I have a need? How do you weigh that against the availability of insurance for your property and even limb? We're in the hurricane zone. We know this. It's a sensitive thing when it comes to natural disasters. How much ought you to be prepared? So, Jamster, insurance, property tax, who should come to your rescue? Should we have a mindset that the government should be there to assist us, especially in impending hurricane season, etc.? I mean, I won't say it's an obligation, but it's part of what governments do in assisting the people. It's all about your life first, making sure you're safe physically, etc., etc., and then your properties after. But should there be a dedicated program where the government and the relevant ministries go out there to inspect your property, make sure that it meets all the conditions of being prepared, etc., etc., and if you sustain damage after, come back and assist you, or if you need some 2x4 here or there and there, etc., right? You had a roof program. This was, I think, a post-hurricane season with assisted persons whose properties were damaged, right? And I can guarantee that most of those folks who received or applied for assistance didn't have that insurance. But we know sometimes, or most times, you do not get what you think you're owed when your property is damaged, but you keep paying, because you think if you don't pay, and if you're not going to a bank to get a loan, you cannot get that insurance. What do you think? Mm-hmm. So we shouldn't develop a dependency on the government having to come to a rescue. If you have the means, put adequate measures in place, get your own insurance, board up where you can, etc. Don't wait for Skelly to come and cut the trees around your home. That threatens an interruption of power supply, whether it's telephone cable or whatever. Make sure you take. Yeah. Generators coming in at a time when there's, say, an extended period of time with the power outages. As a matter of fact, I get it off in the Sandy Point. You click and then what's going on, And even interruption of water. No. I'm a poor man. even storage of water, a couple of days ago, was it Sunday or whatever, I could not use my shower for about 5 hours, no water. Couldn't keep my vehicle. I don't know what. I came downstairs and I clicked and there was nothing there. And then what happened eventually, the water came back and the whole place got flooded. But I couldn't clean my vehicle. I couldn't come to work. I just stayed home until I had water. So we still have those challenges. So it's going to happen during the hurricane season. You stock up on supply of everything that you can, especially water. If you have the means to have a generator, buy extra batteries, etc., certain non-perishable foods, you do so. Because we don't know if we are impacted by a system, how long we'll be there without being able to move around and further assist ourselves. It is 1:30. And we come to the end of another presentation of Voices. You've been listening to WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial. My name is Socrates, being your host today. I want to wish you peace, love, lots of preparation. Hopefully, this time Wednesday, we can have another dialogue. Okay? Rosemary, Chris, just about everybody. Amber over there in Anguilla. Make sure you and those kids are safe. Anastasia, lovely program with the kids. Proud of you guys. Bye now.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.